You don't earn wealth, you align with it. Most people are not broke because of a lack of effort. They're broke because their mind is programmed for survival, not abundance. You've been trained to chase money, not attract it. To work harder, not think clearer. This audiobook is your reset, your mental reboot. From today forward, you don't wait for opportunity. You build yourself into someone opportunity can't ignore. It's not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about mindset, discipline, and identity. Wealth begins the moment you decide you're done thinking like the average. This is not motivation, this is reprogramming. Chapter 1. Stop wanting money. Start becoming someone worth money. 1,000 words. You want more money. You think about it. You stress over it. You work for it. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Money does not respond to desire. Money doesn't care how badly you want it. Money follows value. Always. And until you become valuable, you will stay stuck in the same cycle, working harder, earning the same, feeling frustrated. You don't have a money problem. You have a value problem. Most people wake up thinking, how can I earn more? But the wealthy wake up thinking, how can I become more? That's the difference. Workers wait. Builders create. Employees hope for raises. Entrepreneurs create solutions. One mindset is passive. The other is powerful. You have a choice. You can keep chasing money like everyone else, or you can become someone money naturally flows to. That's the key. You want wealth? Stop asking for it. Start earning it by becoming a person worth paying. Redefine yourself not by what you want to earn, but by the problems you can solve. Look around. The world is full of people who want more money, but very few who focus on becoming more valuable. Wanting is easy. Becoming is rare. Most people complain about their salary while giving the bare minimum. They wait for their boss to recognize them. They wait for the economy to change. They wait for the right time. But waiting is not a wealth strategy. Listen, workers wait for promotions. Builders create opportunities. Workers spend their lives trying to prove they're worthy of a raise. Builders spend their lives creating something so useful that people pay them willingly. Money follows value. Always. You don't need another motivational speech. You need a new identity. If you keep calling yourself broke, you'll stay broke. If you keep blaming others, you'll stay powerless. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. Raise your standards for the value you bring to the world. Think about this. A brain surgeon and a cashier both have 24 hours a day. Why does one earn more? Not because one wants it more, not because one works harder, but because one has become extremely valuable in a specific area. They solved harder problems. They invested years into skills that matter. They became someone worth paying. You have a choice. You can spend your life avoiding hard things, or you can do the hard things that make you valuable. Pain is the price of value. Discipline is the currency of wealth. It's not about luck, it's about leverage. It's not about wishing, it's about building. It's not about time, it's about value. The person who solves million-dollar problems earns million-dollar paychecks. The person who solves no problems earns nothing. So ask yourself every day, what problem do I solve? If your answer is weak, your income will be weak. If your answer is powerful, your income will rise. That's the law. You don't need their permission. You don't need a title. You don't need approval. You need value. You need proof. You need results. Stories of wealthy people all sound similar. They stopped asking to be paid and started earning it by solving problems. Steve Jobs didn't wait for a promotion. He built Apple. Elon Musk didn't wait for permission to innovate. He solved problems others ignored. You don't need to be them, but you need to learn from them. Stop asking for the reward before you create the result. Here's the trap. People want money without responsibility. They want freedom without discipline. They want results without transformation. It doesn't work like that. You want more? Become more. Money follows value always. So, how do you start? Step 1. Change your identity. Stop saying, I want money. Start saying, I create value. Your language builds your identity. Your identity shapes your actions. Step 2. Study problems. Don't study random information. Study the problems your industry faces. Study what frustrates people. Study what wastes time, energy, or money. Then create a solution. Step 3. Build a skill stack. Not just one basic skill, a combination that makes you rare. Marketing plus storytelling. Design plus technology, finance plus psychology. Rare combinations create rare value. Step 4. Deliver more than expected. The world pays extra for people who go beyond the standard. Show up earlier. Stay later. Learn faster. Solve deeper. Make excellence your default. Step 5. Document your results. Don't just say you're valuable, prove it. Keep a record of the problems you've solved, the results you've created, and the people you've helped. This is not about perfection. It's about progression. Every skill you build is a brick in your foundation. Every solution you create is proof that you are becoming someone worth paying. Wealth doesn't come to the most desperate. It comes to the most valuable, you might say, but I don't know where to start. Start where you are. Look at your life. What annoys you? What slows people down? What could be better? Solve that. Start small. Improve one thing. Help one person. Value compounds. Skills compound. Confidence compounds. You have a choice. Stay average or become valuable. Stay frustrated or become useful. Stay broke or build yourself into someone wealth cannot ignore. This chapter is your wake-up call. Stop wanting money. Start becoming someone worth money. Money is not the goal. Value is. Money is the result. Identity is the cause, because remember, wealth is not attracted to desire. Wealth is attracted to discipline, to solutions, to value. Money follows value always. You mastered this truth. Now it's time to go deeper. You've started redefining who you are. Now let's look at the actual blueprint of your financial reality. Chapter 2. Your bank account is a mirror of your mind. Look at your bank account. Don't avoid it. Don't excuse it. Don't blame the economy. Your bank account is not the enemy. It's a mirror. It is reflecting your beliefs, your habits, your standards, and the identity you've accepted. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. And your financial standards are written all over your life. Money is not just numbers. Money is behavior. Money is mindset. Money is identity. If you believe you are someone who always struggles, you will. If you believe money is evil, you'll sabotage it. If you believe wealth is for other people, you'll never work like wealth is for you. You have a choice. Keep living by the old script or write a new one. The problem isn't the goal. The problem is the identity behind the goal. You can write down $1 million target, but if you still think like someone who fears risk, avoids responsibility, and spends everything they make, you will never reach it. Goals inspire you for moments. Identity drives you for life. You see it all the time. Lottery winners get millions overnight and lose it just as fast. Why? Because their mindset didn't rise to their money. They had wealth in their hands, but poverty in their mind. On the other hand, you'll see disciplined thinkers lose everything and rebuild it all because they didn't just have money and they had a millionaire identity. That's the key. Wealth is not just income. It's a standard. It's not just a bank balance. It's a mindset. You have to stop asking, how do I get more money? And start asking, who do I need to become so losing money doesn't scare me anymore? This is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about beliefs. It's about standards. It's about identity. You don't need their permission. You don't need a perfect background. You need a new internal script, so ask yourself, what do I really believe about money? Do I believe I can create it, or do I believe it controls me? Do I believe I'm capable of earning more, or do I secretly think I don't deserve it? Your beliefs create your behavior. Your behavior creates your income. Your income exposes your beliefs. It's a loop. You can break it, but only if you face it. You have a choice. Live in scarcity or rewrite your story. Most people live in scarcity. Scarcity says there's never enough. Scarcity says if they win, I lose. Scarcity says I'm stuck. Scarcity doesn't save. Scarcity spends to feel better today. Scarcity keeps you working for money instead of making money work for you. Ownership is different. Ownership says my life is my responsibility. Ownership says I built this. I can rebuild it. Ownership says I don't wait for opportunity. I prepare for it. That's the identity shift. That is where wealth begins. You don't fix money by fixing money. You fix money by fixing mindset, by raising standards, by telling yourself the truth even when it hurts. Here's the truth. If you overspend, it's not a budgeting issue. It's a discipline issue. If you avoid checking your bank balance, it's not anxiety. It's avoidance. If you have no savings, it's not low income. It's low standards. Harsh, yes. Necessary, absolutely. You have a choice. You can stay offended or you can get better. That's the key. So how do you rewrite your internal script? Here's the process. Step 1, face your financial reality. Look at your numbers. Every account, every debt, Every expense. You can't change what you refuse to confront. Awareness is the first step to authority. Step 2. Identify the belief behind the behavior. Ask yourself why you spend money the moment it comes in. Is it because you're afraid it will disappear? Ask yourself why you never invest. Is it because you believe you're not smart enough? Money problems are mindset problems in disguise. Step 3. Replace scarcity language with ownership language. Stop saying, I can't afford it. Start saying, how can I afford it? Stop saying, I'm broke. Start saying, I'm building. The words you speak become the identity you live. Step 4. Create systems, not wishes. Automate savings. Automate investments. Automate generosity. Don't rely on willpower. Build systems so your future is protected even when your motivation disappears. Step 5. Live by standards, not feelings. You don't save money because you feel like it. You save money because it's your standard. You don't invest because it's exciting. You invest because it's who you are now. Understand this. Wealthy people don't think in terms of, can I buy this? They think in terms of, should I buy this? They don't ask, how much does it cost? They ask, what value does it create? They don't see money as something to spend. They see it as something to multiply. You have a choice. You can keep living by emotions or start living by principles. You can keep reacting to money or start directing it. Let me remind you again. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. If your standards are average, your account will be average. If your standards are excellence, your account will reflect it. So raise your standards. Raise your beliefs. Raise your identity. Because when your identity rises, your income follows. When your standards rise, your life follows. Money will not fix a broken mindset, but a disciplined mindset will always fix broken money. And this is why your bank account is not a punishment. It's a teacher. It's a scoreboard. It's a reflection. Don't hate it. Learn from it. Change the mind. Change the habits. Change the numbers, because wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. That's the foundation. That's the blueprint. You've now looked in the mirror. You've faced the truth. You understand that money is a reflection of identity. Now it's time to build the tool that makes all wealth possible. You mastered the mirror. Now let's talk about the real currency of success. Chapter 3. Discipline is the real currency. Everyone wants motivation. Everyone waits to feel ready, but the wealthy don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on inspiration. They rely on discipline. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going when it's boring, when it's painful, when nobody is clapping. That's the key. Discipline is the real currency. You have a choice. You can keep living by your feelings, or you can start living by your standards. You can keep waiting for the perfect mood, or you can train your mind to act regardless of mood. Wealth doesn't come to the most excited. It comes to the most consistent. Motivation fades. Discipline pays. Every time. Look at any millionaire. Look at any champion. They don't wake up every day feeling inspired. They wake up and follow their system. They don't ask, do I feel like working? They say, it's time to work. They don't wait for clarity. They create it by moving. That's the difference between average and exceptional. Average people wait for permission. Disciplined people give themselves direction. Average people need hype. Disciplined people need a plan. You don't need their permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need structure. You need systems. You need non-negotiables. Because when your life is built on habits and systems, your success is no longer emotional. It's automatic. Millionaires don't stumble into success. They schedule it. They plan their days. They protect their mornings. They guard their focus like a treasure. They follow routines so relentlessly that success becomes inevitable. Make it a system. Make it non-negotiable. So ask yourself right now, who's in control? You or your habits. Because if you don't control your habits will control your income. That's the rule. You say you want to be wealthy, but your habits say otherwise. You stay up late scrolling through distractions. You wake up tired. You procrastinate tasks that matter. You spend money emotionally. You avoid discomfort. And then you wonder why nothing changes. It's not about effort. It's about discipline. It's not about desire. It's about structure. It's not about feeling inspired. It's about doing what needs to be done. Especially when you don't want to do it, you have a choice. Stay a slave to your emotions or become a master of your routine. That's the key. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is what protects your time, your energy, your money. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. That's the difference. Think of it like this. Undisciplined people pay a tax. Late fees, overdrafts, lost opportunities, broken trust. Disciplined people earn interest, growth, progress, respect, results. You will pay either way. The question is, do you pay the price of discipline or the price of regret? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Miss a day? Fine, don't miss two. Slip once? Fine, get back immediately. Winners aren't people who never mess up. Winners are people who never quit. So how do you build discipline? Here's how. Step 1. Decide what matters. Discipline without direction is just punishment. You must know exactly what you are working toward. Be specific. More money is not a target. A 6-figure income by 30 is. Paying off debt in 12 months is. Step 2. Build a simple, repeatable system. Don't wait for motivation, build habits. Write down what you must do daily to move forward. Wake up at a set time. Work on your craft for 1 focused hour. Read 10 pages. Invest a fixed percentage. Make it a system. Make it non-negotiable. Step 3. Remove choice. Discipline fails when you leave too much room for negotiation. Lay out your clothes the night before. Set your phone across the room. Prepare your workspace. Set auto investments. Remove the need for decision-making. That's how you stay consistent. Step 4. Track everything. What you measure improves. Track your workouts. Track your spending. Track your habits. Don't rely on memory. Rely on proof. Numbers don't lie. Step 5. Reward progress. Small, but intentionally. Not with chaos, not with reckless spending, but with meaningful rewards that encourage consistency. A break, a book, a short trip after a long streak. Train your brain to associate discipline with positive outcomes. This is what the wealthy do differently. They don't have more willpower, they have more structure. They don't fight their feelings every day. They eliminate the need to feel anything before they act. They win because their system is stronger than their excuses. You have a choice. You can be casual or you can be committed. You can live by moods or live by principles, but you cannot do both. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you practiced extreme discipline for 1 year? Where would your money be? Where would your body be? Where would your relationships be? You already know the answer. That's the life discipline buys. Remember this. Wealth is not built in random bursts of effort. Wealth is built in the quiet, consistent, boring hours when no one is watching. That's where millionaires are made. That's where you transform from dreamer to doer. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for someone to push you. This is your life. This is your responsibility. Take control of your habits. Build your system. Make it non-negotiable. Because if you master discipline, you can master money. If you master discipline, you can master anything. You've now built the foundation. You understand that discipline is the currency of success. But what's the cost of refusing it? What's the price you pay for excuses? You mastered discipline. Now let's talk about what destroys it. Chapter 4. Excuses are expensive. Kill them or stay broke. Excuses don't come free. Every excuse has a price tag. Every delay has a cost. And the truth is brutal. You're paying for them with your time, your peace, and your bank account. People think failure is expensive. It isn't. Delay is. Waiting is. Excuses are. Failure at least gives you data. Delay gives you nothing but regret. That's the difference. You can recover from failure. You don't recover from wasted years. You have a choice. Every single morning. Either you run the day or the day runs you. That's the line. That's the rule. And most people let the day win before they even leave their bed. They wake up tired. They scroll. They say, I'll start tomorrow. They say, I'm not ready yet. They don't realize those words are not harmless. Those words are expensive. Excuses are silent thieves. You want success to be convenient. You want discipline to feel easy. You want the conditions to be perfect. But perfection isn't coming. You don't need the perfect time. You don't need their permission. You don't need more motivation. You need action, that's the key. Action is cheaper than excuses. You think waiting costs nothing? It costs your momentum. It costs your confidence. It costs opportunities you'll never even see. Look at real life. People stay stuck for years waiting for the right moment. They want to start a business after the pandemic, after they save more money, after January, after they feel more confident. Years pass. Nothing changes. Why? Because they're loyal to their excuses. You have a choice. Either you kill your excuses or your excuses will kill your dreams. There is no neutral ground. You don't get to negotiate with procrastination. You don't get to bargain with fear. You have to execute. Millionaires aren't smarter than you. They're just allergic to excuses. They don't wait for motivation. They build systems. They don't hope for clarity. They schedule it. They don't say someday. They say today, and they mean it. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Repeat that, because that's the standard. Your life is not controlled by your dreams. It is controlled by your daily habits. You can post vision boards all day, but if you wake up late, check your phone, and react to life instead of directing it, you lose. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what you said you would do, long after the mood has left you. Excuses are the opposite. Excuses are the stories you tell to feel better about the promises you broke to yourself. You want to know why you feel stuck? It's not because you lack potential. It's because you keep protecting your excuses instead of your goals. You defend your limits instead of your possibilities. You argue for your weakness more than you argue for your future. Stop saying, "I don't have time." You do. You just chose to give it to something else. You chose comfort over change. You chose entertainment over progress. Be honest about it. Because until you are, you will never take control back. You have a choice. You can keep negotiating with your mind, or you can give it orders. You can keep asking for motivation, or you can build discipline. You can wait for the perfect day, or you can use the day you have. Either you run the day or the day runs you. So how do you kill excuses? You do it with structure. You do it with non-negotiables. You do it by removing the option to negotiate with yourself. Make your actions automated. Make your habits scheduled. Don't wait to feel like doing it. Put it in your calendar and execute. Think like a professional. Professionals don't show up when they feel inspired. They show up because it's time. You don't need inspiration. You need a system. You don't need motivation. You need consistency. That's the key. Start with your morning. Most people lose before 8 a.m. Don't be one of them. Wake up, no snooze, no scroll. Master your first hour and you'll master your day. You have a choice. Next, cut the language of excuse. No more "I'll try." No more "maybe tomorrow." Replace them with "I will" and "I did." Words matter. They shape identity, and your identity drives your actions. Then measure your day. Not your feelings. Not your intentions. Your actions. What did you complete today that moved you forward? If the answer is nothing, then don't lie to yourself. Own it, fix it tomorrow. Excuses are expensive. They cost you time. They cost you money. They cost you self-respect. Every time you choose an excuse, you are teaching your brain that comfort is more important than growth. You are becoming your own limitation. You have a choice. Will it be easy? No. Will you feel tired, frustrated, doubtful? Yes, but those emotions aren't an emergency. They're part of the process. Feel them, but don't surrender to them. Discipline is not about feeling good. It's about doing what matters despite how you feel, because that's the difference between the successful and the stuck. Not potential, not luck. Discipline. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Remember this. Excuses protect your ego. Discipline builds your future. You decide which one you serve, so choose. Kill your excuses, or stay broke, mentally, financially, emotionally. You mastered your excuses today. Now it's time to master your environment. Chapter 5. Rich people buy time. Poor people sell it. You want to know the real difference between rich and poor? It's not just money. It's time. The rich don't trade time for money. They buy time. They multiply it. They protect it like oxygen. Meanwhile, the poor keep selling the only thing they can never get back: hours of their life. One shift at a time. One paycheck at a time. One excuse at a time. You have a choice. Keep renting your time, or learn to own it. That's the key. Poor people say, "I can't afford to hire help." Wealthy people say, "I can't afford to waste another minute doing what someone else can do." Poor people say, "It's only an hour." Wealthy people say, "It's 1 hour I will never get back." You don't need their permission to think this way. You need courage. Courage to believe that your time is worth more than your paycheck. Because it is. Money can be earned. Time cannot be replaced. When you lose money, you can make it back. When you lose an hour, you lose a piece of your life. And most people don't act like that's true. They trade 5 days for 2. They wake up tired. They come home exhausted. They repeat, and they call that normal. No, it's not normal. It's a trap. You've been conditioned to think time equals money. No. Time is more valuable than money. Money is infinite. Time is not. The wealthy understand this. That's why they buy time. They build systems. They delegate. They automate. They don't wait until they're tired. They don't wait until they're rich to start thinking this way. They think this way first. That's why they become rich. The poor wait for the perfect moment. When I have more money, I'll hire help. When I'm successful, I'll outsource. That's backward. You don't outsource because you're successful. You become successful because you outsource. Because you free your mind. You free your time. So you can focus on what actually creates wealth. Ideas, strategy, relationships, creation. Stop renting your time. Start owning your time. Look at entrepreneurs, the ones who scale, the ones who grow. They don't do everything themselves. They don't hold on to every task. They don't say nobody can do it like me. They say someone else can do this 70% as well, and that's enough because it frees me to build. That's maturity. That's ownership. Real story. There are 2 people starting the same online business. Same industry, same skills. Person A tries to design the logo, write the emails, answer customer questions, build the website, manage the inventory. Person B hires a freelancer for the logo, uses templates for email, hires a virtual assistant for admin tasks. Within 6 months, person A is burned out, still figuring things out. Person B is running ads, building partnerships, making sales. Why? Because person B bought time. You have a choice. You might say, but I don't have the money to hire people. Listen carefully. This isn't about hiring a team of 20. This is about mindset. This is about asking, is my time better spent doing $10 tasks or $10,000 ideas? That's the key. It's not about perfection. It's about priorities. Wealthy people don't ask, how much does it cost? They ask, what is it costing me if I don't? Poor people protect dollars. Rich people protect hours. Stop thinking like a worker. Start thinking like an owner. Make it a system. Make it non-negotiable. Every day ask yourself, what can I automate? What can I delegate? What can I eliminate? Because every task you hold on to out of fear is a task that chains you to the same income, the same schedule, the same life. It's not about working harder. It's about working on the right things. You can mop floors for 12 hours or make one decision that builds a business. You can answer emails all day or create a product that earns while you sleep. That's not luck. That's design. That's discipline. That's ownership. You don't need their permission. You don't need to wait. You don't need a degree to value your time. You need a standard. You need to decide that your life is too valuable to be traded away in hourly increments. So here's what you do. Audit your time. Track every hour of your day for 1 week. You'll be shocked by how much of your life is leaking away. Eliminate low-value tasks. If it doesn't move your life forward, cut it. If it doesn't produce income, growth, or peace, cut it. Automate what you can. Bills, emails, reminders. Use tools. Use technology. Make your life lighter. Delegate early, not later. Hire a freelancer for an hour a week. Ask for help. Trade skills. It's not weakness. It's strategy. Build assets. Create things that make money without you. Content, products, systems, investments. Stop renting your time. Start owning your time. If you don't control your schedule, someone else will. If you don't protect your hours, the world will consume them. And they won't apologize. They'll just say, and that's business, like that's life. But it's not life. It's a choice. Your choice. You have a limited number of days left. You don't know how many. Yet you act like they're infinite. You act like you'll always have tomorrow. You won't. One day you'll run out. And when that day comes, you won't care how much money you made. You'll care how you spent your time. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Stop renting your time. Start owning your time. You've learned this truth. Now you can't unhear it. Time is the real currency of the wealthy. And today, you choose to buy it. You mastered the value of time. Now let's talk about the fuel that powers it. Chapter 6, Protect Your Energy, like your life depends on it. Chapter 6, Fear of Judgment is Keeping You Broke. You want to know why most people never get wealthy? It's not because they're lazy. It's not because of the economy. It's not even because of lack of opportunity. It's because they are terrified. Terrified of what people will think. Terrified of failing publicly. Terrified of being judged. And here's the truth you don't want to admit. You're not tired. You're terrified of being judged. That's the key. You wake up every day with ideas. You dream of building something bigger. But the moment you think of posting it, starting it, speaking it, you freeze. Not because you can't, but because someone might laugh. Someone might say, "Who do you think you are?" Someone might talk behind your back. And so you stop before you start. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're broke. You have a choice. You can keep protecting your image, or you can build your future. But you can't do both. Wealth requires exposure. Success demands visibility. You cannot stay invisible and expect the world to reward you. The people you admire, entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, they made peace with being judged. They made peace with being misunderstood. They traded approval for impact. You don't need their permission. Think about this. You've spent years avoiding embarrassment. But what has it earned you? Safe routines? Silent dreams? A life that looks acceptable but doesn't feel alive. You're not tired. You're terrified of being judged. Let me make it clear. Fear of judgment is not a harmless habit. It's expensive. It costs you time. It costs you opportunities. It costs you wealth. Every time you hesitate because of what they might say, you pay a price. And that price keeps you broke. Example. You want to start a business, but instead you wait. You tell yourself, "I'll start when everything is perfect." No, you're not waiting for perfection. You're waiting for permission, and you'll never get it. Or you post one video online, someone leaves a negative comment. You delete it. You stop posting. Years pass. You still talk about what you could have done. Meanwhile, someone else, less talented, less prepared, kept going. And now they have the life you wanted. That's what fear costs you. You have a choice. It's not about confidence. It's about courage. Confidence comes from success. Courage comes from movement. Wealthy people act before they feel ready. Poor people wait for validation. That's why they stay broke. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be relentless. You need to tell yourself, it's not about embarrassment, it's about discipline. It's not about their opinion, it's about my mission. You're not tired. You're terrified of being judged. Now let's get practical. How do you kill this fear? You confront it. You expose yourself to it until it loses power. You stop hiding. You post the video. You make the call. You launch the product. You show up. You get criticized and you keep going. That's discipline. That's how you win. Here's the truth. Nobody who is doing more than you is judging you. Only the people doing less. The people above you are too busy building. The people behind you are too busy talking. So why are you living for their applause? You have a choice. Start today. Do something you've been avoiding because of fear of judgment. Speak up in the meeting. Start the side business. Publish the first post. Record the first video. Will people talk? Yes. Will some people laugh? Yes. Will it matter a year from now? No. But will your life change because you finally acted? Absolutely, that's the key. The first time you do it, you'll shake. The second time, you'll sweat. The third time, you'll breathe. The 10th time, you'll wonder why you ever cared. That's how you rewire your mind. That's how you reclaim your future. You don't need their permission. You need your decision. Stop asking, "What will they think?" And start asking, "What will it cost me if I stay silent?" Stop asking, "What if I fail?" And start asking, "What if I never try?" You're not tired. You're terrified of being judged, but listen, fear doesn't disappear when you get rich. It disappears when you get used to acting despite it. Wealth is not built by fearless people. It's built by people who feel the fear and move anyway. This is your wake-up call. You can keep protecting your ego, or you can build your legacy. But you can't do both. So here's your challenge. Post something today that scares you. Say the truth you've been hiding. Start the project you've been delaying for years. Feel the fear, then move anyway, because if you don't, nothing changes. Not your income, not your future, not your life. You have a choice. Stop living like a ghost in your own life. Stop waiting for applause. Stop shrinking to make other people comfortable. Your future is not waiting for you to be liked. It's waiting for you to be brave. You're not tired. You're terrified of being judged. And now you know. You can't unhear this. So what are you going to do? Either you will let their opinions own your life, or you will own your life. You mastered the courage to face judgment. Now let's confront something even more dangerous: comfort. Because nothing kills potential faster than a life that feels good enough. Chapter 7. Master Boring. Success is repetition, not excitement. You want success to feel exciting. You want fireworks. You want breakthroughs, viral moments, big applause. But here's the truth most people never want to hear. Success is boring. Wealth is boring. Discipline is boring. Boring habits. Unboring results. That's the key. The world sells you the fantasy of overnight success because it's easy to package. Lottery winners. Crypto spikes. One viral video. One lucky break. But real success doesn't look like that. Real success looks like waking up earlier than you want to, investing small amounts when no one is watching, reading when you'd rather scroll, showing up when nobody claps. Boring habits. Unboring results. You have a choice: keep chasing excitement or start mastering repetition. Because wealth does not come from intensity. Wealth comes from consistency. The gym works the same way. One intense workout doesn't build a strong body. But 365 boring workouts, that transforms you. Money is no different. You want compound interest, but you don't want patience. You want freedom, but you don't want repetition. Stop lying to yourself. You say you're tired. But you're not tired. You're bored. You're addicted to stimulation. You're addicted to novelty. You scroll for a hit of excitement while ignoring the quiet, invisible work that actually builds wealth. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. That's the key. Most people would rather stay broke than be bored for 10 minutes. They want a new strategy every week, a new hustle every month, a new business idea every year. They never master anything. They never stay long enough to win. You don't need a new plan. You need commitment to the one you already have. You don't need more inspiration. You need repetition. Think about it. If you invested just $10 every day for 10 years into a simple index fund, nothing fancy, you'd build more wealth than most people do chasing lottery tickets, meme coins, or the next big thing. Daily investing beats lottery thinking. Every time, but people won't do it. Why? Because it's boring. They'd rather gamble than grow. They'd rather dream than execute. They'd rather hope than build. Boring habits. Unboring results. You want a successful business? Post every day. Improve your product every week. Listen to your customers. Learn your numbers. Do the unglamorous work. You want financial freedom? Track your spending. Invest before you spend. Say no to impulse. Say yes to consistency. This is the part no one claps for. No one celebrates discipline. No one applauds savings accounts. But this is where wealth is made, in silence. You have a choice. You can keep living for dopamine, or you can build a life that doesn't depend on it. That's the key. You want motivation? Show up. You want passion? Build it through repetition. Passion doesn't come first. Practice does. Confidence doesn't come first. Discipline does. Look at the greats, athletes, investors, builders. They don't chase excitement. They chase mastery. They do the same thing over and over and over long after the excitement is gone. They don't care about being entertained. They care about being excellent. So ask yourself, do you want to feel good? Or do you want to be great? Because greatness is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's quiet. It's lonely. It's repetition. Every day you get two choices: comfort or consistency. Consistency wins every time. Here's your blueprint. Set boring goals. Not make 1 million this year. Instead, invest $300 every month. Read 20 pages every day. Make one sales call before breakfast. Build rituals, not moods. Don't wait to feel like it. Do it because it's who you are. Respect small numbers. 5 saved. 10 invested. One habit repeated 1,000 times is more powerful than one big move. Track your wins quietly. Don't post about it. Don't brag. Let your success speak later. You don't need their permission. You don't need excitement. You need endurance. Boring habits. Unboring results. And here's the truth. The people who win are not the smartest. They are not the most talented. They are the most consistent. They are the ones who keep walking when everyone else gets bored and sits down. So stop asking, how long will it take? Ask instead, how long am I willing to repeat? That's the key. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for motivation, or you can master the mundane. You can keep searching for secrets, or you can commit to habits. You can keep chasing excitement, or you can build wealth. Master boring, master repetition, Master showing up, boring habits. Unboring results. You don't need drama. You need discipline. You don't need speed. You need endurance. You don't need inspiration. You need integrity with your habits. This is how wealth is built. Not in noise. In repetition. Not in excitement. In discipline. You've spent enough time waiting to feel ready. Now it's time to act ready. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who repeat. You mastered boring. Now let's talk about the true currency of your life. Chapter 8. Environment is stronger than willpower. You think willpower is enough. You think you can stay in the same room with the same people, living the same routines, and still change your life. You're wrong. Environment is stronger than willpower. Every time you don't beat your environment, you become it. That's the key. Walk into a cold room, you become cold. Walk into a loud room, you begin to shout. Walk into a lazy room, you stop moving. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're human. You adapt to survive. You copy to belong. That's why your environment matters more than your intentions. Proximity is power. Who you're around is what you become. You have a choice. You can surround yourself with people who push you forward, or people who keep you small. Most people stay broke not because they lack talent, but because they surround themselves with comfort, excuses, and mediocrity. They don't want to feel like the odd one out. They don't want to be the only one chasing something bigger, so they shrink. You know this feeling. You talk about your goals, and they roll their eyes. You mention starting a business. They laugh and say, be realistic. You mention leaving your job. They say, be grateful. At least you have one. And slowly, you stop dreaming out loud. You stop trying. You stop believing you're capable of more because no one around you believes. That is the cost of the wrong environment. You don't need their permission. You need distance. Look at anyone who changed their life. They changed their environment first. They moved cities. They found mentors. They joined rooms where being ambitious wasn't mocked. It was expected. You can't grow in soil that refuses to nourish you. It's not about motivation. It's about environment. Motivation fades. Environment remains. Your habits are not just yours. They are absorbed from the people around you. You eat like them. You think like them. You earn like them. You dream like them. And sometimes you stop dreaming entirely because no one around you dreams. Proximity is power. Who you're around is what you become. You have a choice. You can stay close to comfort or step toward growth. There's a reason why average people love average company, because it makes their excuses look normal. But when you step into a room of people who are building, investing, improving, your excuses don't survive. Your comfort doesn't survive. Only your potential does. That's the key. Stop saying, I'll change when I'm ready. You won't. You'll change when your environment demands it. Want to lose weight? Don't rely on willpower. Clear your kitchen. Surround yourself with people who train. Want to save money? Don't rely on discipline. Delete the shopping apps. Spend time with people who invest. Want to build a business? Don't wait for motivation. Get around builders. Join masterminds. Read biographies. Fill your ears, your screen, your daily life with people who are already where you want to go. Because proximity rewires your identity faster than discipline ever will. Let this sink in. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. You think you're strong because you resist temptations. Real strength is avoiding rooms where temptations exist. You think you're disciplined because you wake up early while your friends sleep in. Real discipline is surrounding yourself with people who make waking up early normal, not heroic. Your environment either pulls you forward or drags you back. There is no neutral ground. So here's what you must do. Audit your circle. Who drains your energy? Who feeds your excuses? Who challenges your standards? Subtract before you add. Cut out the voices that make you smaller before you search for voices that push you higher. Curate your intake. If you don't have mentors in real life, use books, podcasts, audiobooks. Proximity isn't always physical. It's mental. It's emotional. Enter rooms where you are the least experienced. If you're always the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You don't need their permission, but you do need a new environment. Proximity is power. Who you're around is what you become. Your life is a reflection of who you allow close to you. Your income, your beliefs, your habits, your standards, all of it is shaped by proximity. Look closely. If your future looks like your friends and your friends aren't going where you want to go, you already know what to do. You have a choice. Stay and stay the same. Or leave and become more. But understand this. There is a cost to changing environments. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You may have to walk alone for a while. But that's the price of evolution. Comfort or growth, familiarity or future. You can't have both. Environment is stronger than willpower. You don't beat it. You build it. You design it. You choose it before it chooses you. So choose wisely. Because if you surround yourself with discipline, success becomes normal. If you surround yourself with excuses, failure becomes automatic. That's the key. You don't need more motivation. You need a stronger environment. You don't need more inspiration. You need higher standards around you. You don't need their permission. You need to step into rooms where permission is irrelevant, because everyone is too busy building. Proximity is power. Who you're around is what you become. You have a choice. Stay in the room that keeps you broke, or enter the room that forces you to become who you're meant to be. You've learned this truth. Now it's time for the next law of wealth. You shaped your environment. Now let's talk about the cost of staying silent when you should speak. Chapter 9. Money Flows. Where attention goes, your attention is currency, not a metaphor, a fact. Every major company in the world is fighting for it, buying it, monetizing it. Why? Because they know something most people never realize. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Where your life goes, your money follows. If your attention is scattered, your results will always be scattered. That's the truth, and it's time you face it. You don't stay broke because you're not capable. You stay broke because your attention is divided. You wake up and hand over your mind to entertainment, to gossip, to notifications that don't pay your bills. Yet you wonder why success feels far away. Let me make it simple. Your focus is your most valuable asset. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. You have a choice. You can keep leaking focus in 1,000 directions, or you can reclaim it, direct it like a laser, and make it work for you instead of against you. That's the key. Wealth isn't an accident. Wealth is a consequence of sustained, disciplined attention on what matters. Look around. Most people are not poor because of lack of opportunity. They're poor because of lack of concentration. They don't finish what they start. They can't sit with their own thoughts for 10 minutes without reaching for a screen. The world has conditioned them to crave stimulation, not progress. Their attention is owned by algorithms, not ambition. Social media isn't free. You're paying with your life. Every scroll, every tap, every pointless argument online costs you time, energy, clarity. You lose the ability to think deeply. And without deep thought, you lose the ability to create anything meaningful. You don't build wealth in a distracted state. You build it in silence and focus, in long, uninterrupted hours when your mind is locked onto a single mission. Guard your attention like your life depends on it. Because it does. Guard it from noise. Guard it from other people's urgency. Guard it from the addiction of constant entertainment. If you don't take control of your attention, someone else will, and they will use it to make themselves rich, not you. This is not about being perfect. This is about being intentional. You don't need to work 24 hours a day, but when you work, be fully there. When you rest, rest fully. The key is presence. The key is depth. Shallow focus leads to shallow results. Deep focus leads to deep rewards. Start noticing where your attention goes during the day. Track it, audit it. You'll be shocked. You'll see hours disappearing into meaningless consumption. You'll see yourself using your phone like a pacifier. You'll see how much of your life you're giving away for free. But that awareness, that sting of truth, is where change begins. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. You don't need a new strategy. You need to execute the one you already know, but without interruption. You don't need permission from anyone to focus. Turn off the noise. Close the tabs. Put your phone in another room. You have a choice. Choose concentration over chaos. Think about the people you admire. The builders, the creators, the wealthy. They're not smarter than you. They're not luckier than you. They're more focused than you. They understand compound interest, not just in money, but in attention. 1 hour of true focus is worth 10 hours of half attention. 1 year of disciplined focus can change your entire life. You want results? You want financial freedom? Then do the uncomfortable work of training your attention. Just like a muscle, it grows when you use it and weakens when you ignore it. Read books instead of scrolling. Study your craft instead of consuming drama. Build something small every day. That's how you take back control. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions. But remember this, you don't owe everyone your attention. You don't have to respond right away. You don't need to know what every celebrity is doing. You don't need to join every argument. Your attention is sacred. Treat it that way. Guard your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Guard it when you wake up. Guard it before you go to sleep. Guard it when no one is watching, because that's when it matters most. Wealth begins in the mind, focused, disciplined, uninterrupted. You have a choice. You can keep living reactive, chasing distractions, letting your attention be stolen by everything and everyone, or you can own it, direct it, invest it, because money doesn't chase talent. Money chases attention, discipline, and execution. Guard your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. You're starting to understand. You're beginning to see the pattern: mindset, discipline, focus. This is how wealth is built, not through luck, but through intention. And now that you know this, it's time to go deeper. You've learned to master your focus. Now let's talk about the silent force that multiplies it. Chapter 10, Wealth Demands Sacrifice. Chapter 10, Act Rich Before You're Rich. Identity. First, income. Second, money doesn't make you rich. Identity does. Wealth is not something you chase, it's something you become. You don't wait until you have money to think like a wealthy person. You think like one first. You act like one first. Then the money follows. That's the key. Most people have it backward. They say, when I make more money, I'll start investing. When I feel confident, I'll start the business. When I feel ready, I'll act. But here's the truth, you don't wait to feel ready. You act from the identity you're building. You don't need proof to believe. You need belief to create the proof. Identity creates action. Action creates wealth. Say it again. Identity creates action. Action creates wealth. If you don't change your identity, you'll keep repeating your past. Your income will always match your habits. Your habits will always match your identity. So stop chasing tactics and start upgrading who you are. Your current life is the result of your current identity. If you see yourself as broke, you act broke. You spend before you earn. You avoid risk. You procrastinate opportunities. But when you shift identity, everything shifts. You start making decisions like the person you want to become, not the person you've always been. You have a choice. You can keep dragging your past into your future, or you can step into a new identity before the results show up. That's the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck. What does that look like in real life? It means you think, decide, schedule, and invest like the person you want to become. If you want to be financially free, your life must reflect that before the money ever arrives. A wealthy identity is not about designer clothes or luxury cars. It's about discipline. It's about priorities. It's about how you use your time, attention, and energy. The rich you wakes up with purpose. The rich you invests part of every dollar earned. The rich you learns daily, trains daily, builds daily. Stop buying things to look rich. Start making decisions to be rich. That's the key. Let me make it practical. Want to be a business owner? Then stop thinking like an employee. Stop waiting to be told what to do. Create systems. Study profits, not just paychecks. If you want to act like the wealthy, schedule your day around creation, not consumption. Want financial independence? Then stop spending like your identity is consumer. Start spending like your identity is owner. Owners invest. Owners build. Owners delay gratification. They don't need immediate pleasure. They're building long-term power. You don't need $1 million to start acting like a millionaire. You need discipline. You need clarity. You need standards. Wealthy people don't waste mornings. They don't waste energy. They don't waste attention. They choose their future over their impulses. Identity creates action. Action creates wealth. Look at your life right now. Your calendar reveals your identity. Your bank account reveals your priorities. Your daily habits reveal your future. If it doesn't match the life you want, change how you see yourself. This is not about pretending. It's not fake it till you make it. It's be it until you become it. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You don't even need confidence. You need commitment to a new identity. Act like someone who respects their time. Act like someone who respects their money. Act like someone who expects success, not from luck, but from relentless persistence. That's what separates creators from consumers. But understand, identity shifts aren't comfortable. You will outgrow people. You will leave behind habits that once felt good. You will make decisions others don't understand. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have a choice. Stay loyal to your comfort or stay loyal to your future. You can't do both. The world rewards identity-driven action. When you act like a leader, people start treating you like one. When you act like a professional, opportunities appear. When you act like someone who values wealth, money finally has a place to stay. Identity creates action. Action creates wealth. So how do you start? Define your future identity. Write it down. Who are you becoming? How do they think? How do they talk? What do they tolerate? What do they reject? Attach behavior to it immediately. If your identity is builder, build something today. If your identity is investor, invest something today, even if it's $5. Align your environment. Clean your workspace. Organize your finances. Remove distractions. Surround yourself with reminders of who you're becoming, not who you were. Repeat the identity until it becomes truth. Every decision is a vote for who you want to be. You don't have to win every vote. You just have to win most of them. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. You don't need approval. You need alignment. You don't need more time. You need identity. Because the truth is simple. You don't become wealthy and then act wealthy. You act wealthy, and then you become wealthy. Identity creates action. Action creates wealth. You've learned something powerful. You now understand why your attention matters. You understand why identity matters. This is how fortunes are built. Internally first, externally second. But wealth demands something else, something most people avoid. You built the identity. Now you must protect it. And that requires sacrifice. You mastered your attention. You stepped into a new identity. Now it's time to give up what no longer fits your future. I don't need more information. You need transformation. Everything you want is waiting on the other side of a new identity. You've learned that wealth isn't an event. It's a mindset. You've seen the truth. Money responds to value, discipline, attention, and identity. No more chasing. No more waiting. No more apologizing for wanting more. If you stay the same, nothing changes. But if you change your standards, your habits, your environment, your entire life will follow. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're simply one decision away from the version of you that money, opportunity, and success are already searching for. So here's your challenge. Don't just listen to this audiobook. Live it. Start today. Set the standard. Become valuable. Protect your focus. Build the identity. And don't stop until your reality matches your vision. This is your blueprint. This is your moment. Now, go prove to yourself that you were never meant to be average.